Because Mama says so. Grandpa Giles has laid down his newspaper and is taking off his spectacles. The children all know what that means. They have a story. When I was a little boy, I lived on a farm. We had horses and cows and chickens. But best of all, we had a long hill that sloped from the grove back of the house way down to the river. There we used to slide by the hour together, some of the boys from the village, and your Uncle Seth and Aunt Rosa, and your grandmother too. She was a little girl then, and wore a scarlet hood. One day Mama said to me, "Johnny, you are not to go and slide today. Will you remember?" "Why not, Mama? It's only cloudy, and the snow is as hard as can be." "You cannot go, Johnny, because Mama says she does not wish you to. Isn't that enough?" "I think I might," said I, whining and beginning to cry. "I don't see why I can't have a good time as well as the other boys. I don't want to sit rolled up on the rug all day, just like the old cat." My Mama looked very sober, but she did not say any more. She left me and went into the back kitchen to work. She had asked me to ravel out a piece of carpet for the rug she was making. The carpet lay by me, but I couldn't touch it. I sat with my arms on the window, still looking out on the snow. As I sat there, I heard voices and footsteps. They came nearer, and soon Henry Jones and Luke White came up. I beckoned them to the window. "What? Aren't you going to slide today, Johnny?" said Henry. "No," I answered gruffly. "Why not?" said Luke. "Are you sick?" "I can't go because Mama says I can't," I said. "Didn't she tell you why?" said Henry. "No, she thinks that it's enough if she says so." Said Luke. "I always make my Mama tell me the reason why. I'm big enough to know what I ought to do." And Luke drew himself up and stood on his toes. But just then a snowball hit him on the back, and he came down flat, and we all laughed. The boy who threw the snowball then came up to the window. "Why, Johnny," he said, "why don't you come out and have some fun? Are you playing prison? You're not sick, are you?" "I did have a little sore throat last night, but I don't feel it any now. My Mama says I can't go, and so I shan't." "I tell you what," said Luke, "you just slip out the front door and come down for an hour. She'll never know. She is working in the kitchen, isn't she?" I hesitated. Just then I happened to look towards the fire. The cat lay there purring. I remembered what I had said about lying around just like her, and I jumped up, took my cap and overcoat, opened the front door softly, and went out. My woolen scarf I entirely forgot in my hurry. "That's jolly," said Luke. "I never do anything 'cause my mom says I must, if she doesn't tell me why." My red antelope, the antelope is a name brand of a sled, never slyly around the back way that day. Mama's face seemed to be looking at me from the clouds. the river, and the trees. I thought I heard her calling me 2 or 3 times, but the boys said it was only the wind. Luke, I said at last, I am sure Mama is calling me. I'm going. I went back as I had gone. I went into the sitting room. The old clock in the corner was ticking, the miniature ship rocking on the top, and the cat lying on the hearth. How I wished then that I were the cat, in truth. I went out into the back kitchen, but Mama was not there. Just then Hugh, the hired man, came in. Sakes alive, he said. Johnny, what have you been about? Your mother was going to take you on a sleigh ride to Aunt Hannah's. She was going to surprise you, she said, but she saw a boy who said he saw you going down the hill. So she left me to look after you. She won't be back until after dinner. So I lost a sleigh ride, and by leaving off my scarf, took the scarlet fever. But I learned a lesson. After this, because Mama says so, was enough. And now I am old. I have learned a greater lesson. Thus saith the Lord. And when I don't see the reason why he has said it, I still trust him. Wow. Thus saith the Lord. Children, when you learn to obey your parents, you are learning to obey your Heavenly Father. May we be obedient.